This is William Burgess with the IBM Watson Cloud Platform Architect team. I'm going to be giving a demo of the IBM Cloud dashboard and management capabilities. We'll start on this page here with the dashboard. At any time, you can get to this dashboard page by clicking on, in the top left, this IBM Cloud logo from anywhere on the cloud page. This is going to be where everything you have deployed on IBM Cloud is stored, whether it's infrastructure, whether it's platform as a service, whether it's the Watson APIs, anything, any Cloud Foundry apps are all going to be here. And you can click into any instance of any of these. We'll click into a Watson discovery instance here, and you can click into any of them, and it'll load that instance page, and it will give you more information on that individual service. Once you click into a service, it'll give you some credentials, how to access it. It'll give you some connections, and then some information on getting started tips, some documentation on the service itself. Back on this dashboard page, we can see a few key things to understand here at the top. One is going to be a Cloud Foundry organization. So on your IBM account, you can split up into individual organizations. So if let's say I'm a manager at a company and I have two teams working on different projects, I can create two different organizations for those teams to keep their IBM Cloud resources separate. In my case, as a architect at IBM, I build lots of demos and things like that, so I'll keep different organizations for different demos, particularly ones that have lots of resources associated with them. Below that, there's a concept called a space. A space is, imagine, just an organization within an organization. So it's a subdivision of these individual organizations. So I have this organization here that has demos, dev, a Data Connect demo lab. It's just a separate subdivision. So if you have a need to, once you divide up into two different organizations, maybe you want a space within that organization for infrastructure, and maybe you want a space in that organization that just hosts middleware and some of the platform offerings, you can do that. Another way to organize this is by resource group. You can create a resource group, and this resource group can span over a Cloud Foundry organization in space. So if you have two teams and they each have their own separate infrastructure, but you want a portal to be able to manage all of the infrastructure between both teams at the same time, you can create a resource group that spans both organizations and covers all of their infrastructure offerings. So those are the key organizational concepts to understand. And then here, location is just going to be what region it's deployed in, what data center. And then category is going to be the type of offering. You can go AI, compute, databases, things like that. And obviously, you can search there. Now, let's go for some of the management capabilities. You can click in at any time to your IBM Cloud account and go to your profile here. Or if you know what capability you're looking for, you can use this top bar here. So under Manage, you can go into your account and you can see your users, your Cloud Foundry organizations. So we'll go into the orgs first. And then once you click into any of these management pages on the left, you'll have all these other quick links that are related topics that you can go to. So in organizations, you can see the two that you have, you can manage them, you can click into them, and you can see where they're deployed, and you can do certain things. You can delete, rename your organizations, and that's how you would manage those. Same thing for resource groups. This is a bad example because I don't really have many here, but it's going to be where you would manage those resource groups. Same way with organizations. Working up this little ladder on the left here, you have spending notifications. This is an important concept for lots of people who understand cloud as a pay-as-you-go service, and obviously you don't want someone having to check in and watch all the time. If you just want to know when you hit a certain limit, you can set a total spending number, and you can set it to send you an email. You can also do it for particular services here. So if you click down at the bottom, you can click specifically for Cloud Object Storage. I want to know when I spend a certain amount, etc. So that's how you would go there. And then we can go up to billing. Billing is where you are going to see your account type, pay-as-you-go offers. You can put in promo codes, things like that. And then ultimately, if you'd like to deactivate your account, that's where you would do that. This is where you're going to manage. Mine page is going to be an internal IBM account, so different than what a regular user would see. But this is where you would add in, payment information, credit cards, things like that, where you can manage all of that securely. Then we'll go up to the usage dashboard. The usage dashboard is where you see for your current usage cycle, or you can pick a different one, of the services that you've used, how much you've used of them. Once this loads here, it'll give you, how much you're expected to pay and what you're paying for. You can go into each individual one as well. You can view the individual instances and see which instance. This one I only have one instance of, but it'll show you how much it costs, and then you can take a link to that instance. So you can go in here and you can manage it pretty granular level, and then there's a helpful link at the bottom as well if you need to know that. Now we can go up to platform notifications. This is a very quick thing, just where if you want announcements or email settings, go there. And then your profile is going to be pretty straightforward. You can just upload a photo, things like that. So that's that portion of that. There's also in this Manage tab the security, where you can go in and do identity and access management, and you can manage your API keys as well. You can see the users that have access to your account. Greg is a coworker of mine, and we work on demos together, so I can give him access to that. There's also a tab to invite users here. This is where you would add them in when you invite a user. Let's go ahead and look into this. Put their email address in, and then you assign specific access. So you can assign them to individual services or a resource group. You can look at the specific services here, or you can assign them to a Cloud Foundry organization, like I had said before. So if they're specifically within one part of your company, you can assign them to just the resources within there. So you can have certain access levels for individual users. Not everyone has access to the entire account. And then you can click through here. You can access groups for certain Cloud Foundry spaces and more granular control of where people are allowed to access. And then same thing with service IDs are going to be created for various concepts. Usually you'll be prompted in the actual service offering when you need a service ID. But it's going to be an ID that identifies a certain role for certain services. And then again, this is all identity access. You can manage authorizations and settings and your platform API keys down at the bottom there. And then you can read our privacy statement as the last thing there. Support, this is where you would go. The support center is any tickets you have open. If you have any issues with your account, any FAQs about errors that you may be getting, things like that. This is the hub for that, where you can submit any of that. Docs is going to open up a new window. Typically, it is where you have information on any IBM Cloud service offering is within this tab. So it can be stuff that you don't have deployed already, stuff you do have deployed, stuff you're interested about. It'll have links to all sorts of things where you can look at solutions that other people have done, quick getting started guides for what you can use certain services for. There's a vast amount of information here. Please utilize it, and it's totally free to read through. Then the catalog page is going to take you to the IBM Cloud Catalog. This is going to be all of our service offerings and how you would click in and deploy any of them, or just read about them if you're interested as well. If you click into something, we'll click into Kubernetes service, let's say. We'll click into here. It'll come up with a page. It'll give you a button at the bottom to create it. It'll also give you an overview and then some helpful links on the left. Again, you can access the docs for a specific service like the Kubernetes cluster by going into that service on the catalog and then clicking into the docs off that page. And you can see a lot of the FAQs, a lot of the how-tos here on the left. So please utilize the docs there. At any time when you're in these panels, there's, again, you can click this IBM Cloud logo and it'll take you back to your dashboard that shows you your resources. And then this last thing on the top bar is going to be a hamburger menu that will show you the different offerings on the catalog, so you can jump straight to the Watson APIs, for instance. And that's generally your dashboard management and overview. We talked a little bit about these Cloud Foundry organization spaces and resource groups, and how you can group your IBM Cloud services and resources that you provisioned. We talked a little bit about managing users and how you can give them access to certain areas, and we looked at how we can get support, documentation for our services, and where we go to view all of the IBM Cloud services. Hope you enjoyed this quick little walkthrough. Please contact me if you have any questions. It's william.burgess@ibm.com. Thank you all so much. Have a great day.